You are listening to Love, Light, Lonnie, the podcast. I'm Lonnie Nishiyama, and join me as we discover the gifts that live within all of us and how these gifts bring us together to love, help others, inspire, and of course, vibrate higher. Welcome to Love, Light, Lonnie. Hi, it's Lonnie, and thank you for joining me on another podcast. So if you listen or watch me at all, thanks, because I don't expect anyone to, which is crazy, but I am thanking you because this leads me into actually what I'm talking about today, which is receiving love. And that is something that I've always had a hard time with because I had self-esteem issues growing up. And then, when someone wants to love you, are you going to be like, yes, bring it on. I love this. No, I think it's a really common thing to not suffer, but to kind of reject affection, compliments, love. And a lot of that comes from upbringing and traumas and previous connections and relationships that you've had that maybe didn't work out. And it's a way to protect yourself because honestly, if you receive love, that is so scary. It means that you have to have an open heart, an open mind, and only see really good in people. Not that's the only thing you see in people, but a lot of times we look at the negatives in people because we're like, there's no way that this person could love me or want to even talk to me or take my energy. And it's not that you allow them to steal your energy, but you just need to be able to accept it. I know for me personally, accepting love and affection has been really hard my whole life because of, my upbringing, but then also previous boyfriends and relationships and friendships I've had. I would love the person really hard, and the minute that they sort of betrayed me not everyone betrayed me, but the minute that I felt that I didn't have love from that person, or that they were taking advantage of me, or that they no longer could give me the love that I wanted to receive in my way and in the way that I felt like was love, I immediately shut off. It was just a really hard thing for me to understand until recently. I went to lunch with my aunt, and I'm eating there at the restaurant, having a salad with her, sitting across from her, and she was like, how's everything going in life? And I'm like, everything's great. Kids are good. They're healthy. They're thriving, minor issues here and there, but we're good. And then I just said, sometimes I just feel really alone, but I kind of like to be alone. And I don't know why I'm like that. And she was like, well, how do you receive love? And I just said, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't rely on other people. I don't rely on my friends to give me love. I don't rely on my relationships at all around me to give me love. I just love myself. And she goes, that's great because you need self-love. And I do preach that. But my aunt, who is actually a very intuitive therapist, said, well, you also need to be able to receive love. How do you receive love? And I thought about it and I was like, I don't think I do, because I have my kids and they show me love, and that's like the purest love, like little children. So, and it's unfiltered and I love that. But from other fellow adults and peers, friends, husband, whatever, I don't receive love that well. And I know that comes from my own issues. And so I really started reflecting on that and how can I receive love more. And it's like, obviously you have to have an open heart, which I feel like I do a lot, but I am closed off because I don't want other people's negativity to bother me. But it's also like, why am I looking at everyone through a negative lens? Like, I need to look at the positive in people, not the negative in people. Literally, a bird just flew by my window. See, I'm learning. Spirit's like, you need to learn this. And so I live in fears a lot, my upbringing, my ruined friendships or best friends growing up, bad breakups. It's like you develop fears in life. And I don't want to live in fear. I want to live in love. So if I'm preaching that, I better live it and I better be able to receive it. It's really hard to receive a compliment or affection or even believe someone would want to love you. And I think that that's something that I'm really working on right now, because if I don't, I won't be able to show that to my children. And I want them to be able to receive love when it's necessary, because we all need to be able to receive it. Receiving love is the same as giving love. It's the same as loving yourself. It's just because we're all one. We're all connected. We're all the same. We're all different, but we're all the same. And it's like, if we're going to show love in this world, then we better be able to receive it. Loving my neighbor, loving, I say neighbor, it sounds kind of preachy, sorry. But loving my peers and people around me is actually loving myself too, because we are connected energetically, and we are all teaching each other, learning from each other. I recently listened to another podcast, and this girl who's very intuitive, was like, I don't really believe in like friends or foes, like no friends or enemies, because we're all just teachers. We're all teaching each other, whether it's through friendships or through something bad that happens, when you're running some adversity in that moment. So I recognize I don't receive love well. I'm going to work on that, because I want my kids to have that, and I want myself to have that. I think we all deserve it. See, and then my ice maker just went off. I also believe in science, obviously. And I do choose to look at the positive in people instead of the negative stuff, And I have to forgive all of those that have hurt me, because maybe they were acting out of fear as well. And I've probably hurt people too. I know I have. I'm sure I've hurt people because I'm acting out of fear to protect myself, to protect my heart. And I should be able to receive love from friends, not close people off, receive love from my husband, receive love from my kids, and even just the cool guy at the grocery store who's full of compliments. I need to be able to receive that and not be like, oh, come on, he's just being nice. Like, Lonnie, you don't. I need to say thank you and recognize that by receiving it, I am not only giving out the love all the time, but I'm taking that love in, and that love fills my heart. You can't be giving energy out all the time. You'll collapse. You have to also take it in. It's supposed to be a beautiful yin yang exchange of energy, a balance. Life is balance. So that's all I really had to talk about today, because my son is, growing up and learning a lot, and he does have a really strong personality. So I'm learning how to deal with that. And I think that sometimes maybe he doesn't want to receive love either. And so I've looked at my situation as a mother and my situation as a human being and as a person in the world. And I've realized that as much as I preach about self-love, receiving love is a huge priority. We all need to do it. We all need to take advantage of it. And that's all I'm going to say, because I could ramble on for another 30 minutes. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for listening to me, even if it's no one. It helped me grow just by expressing this today. All right. Peace.